Welcome to Seer of the Divine. My name is Isis. Welcome to my new channel that I just started, and it will be focused mainly on doing tarot readings, celebrity readings, anything in the news that might be interesting to read on. But before we begin, I just want to say this reading is for entertainment purposes only. Everything shared here is alleged and intuitive, so please, as you're watching this, please use your own discernment and take what resonates and leave the rest. So as you gather from the title, this reading will be on Miss Kim Kardashian and just checking out the current energy around her. I know she does have her new TV show that just got renewed, All's Fair. I personally haven't seen it, and I've seen mixed reviews on it. Of course, we know she's a businesswoman. She's also on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but I really just wanted to tap in on her energy to see what's in the forecast for her for 2026 and also get a read on her current energy as well. Just want to see what's going to be on the horizon for Miss Kim. Before we get into the tarot, I do want to pick from the What's the Vibe deck to get an overall view of what her current energy is, as well as for 2026, just to get us started before we get into the tarot. And first, I see Archangel Michael came up for her. Okay, what else about Kim Kardashian? Her current energy right now. What's in Kim Kardashian's current energy? That's interesting. And we also now have narcissist, which is interesting because I've seen people do analysis. I've seen readers read on her before, and they do kind of imply that she does have some narcissistic tendencies, which isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it can just mean that obviously you put yourself first in situations. You may have a big ego, but I've seen where people have commented on this before, but I don't keep up. I don't really watch her too much to know whether or not I would consider her a narcissist, but that's very interesting. So it looks like a protected narcissist from the Archangel Michael card and from the narcissist card. But let me just pull one more on her current energy, and then I will pull what 2026 energy is going to look like for her. And then we have puzzled. So confused, perplexed, conflicted for her. So maybe right now she's just going through a time of trying to figure out where she's headed next, trying to make some difficult decisions, maybe going through a situation where there's a lot of confusion and having, being at a crossroad. But we'll tap into that. Maybe once we get into the tarot, we'll get a better idea of that. But before we get into the tarot, I do want to look at 2026 energy for her through these cards. What's the vibe for Kim Kardashian for 2026? Spirit. Okay, 2026, I have vacay, relaxed, having fun. So maybe she has some trips planned for 2026. Maybe some family trips. That's what I'm getting. Harmony, balance, happiness. So perhaps this vacation is what she needs. And maybe even a break for her in the future where she's having to come in and get away from all of the noise that's coming, or just maybe in her life, because as I saw from her current energy, it sounds like she's conflicted about a lot of things and at this crossroads, and perhaps this vacation or this time away from the hustle and bustle of her daily life is going to definitely help her next year. And perhaps, it sounds like it's much needed for her right now and what she's dealing with. All right, what else here? We're going to pull one more card. Then we have waves. So this is emotions, worry, fear. So I think this also ties into the vacation as well. Her needing to step away, her needing to take a break in 2026. Because, even in the waves card, it does have emotions, worry, and fear, but it's a beach there. So maybe she needs to take some time off to really reset, refocus, take her mind off of, like I said, the things that she's going through right now, her personal life, or maybe even her work life. Definitely a break needed for her. She's a mother. I believe they have she has 4 kids, as well as owning her own businesses, being in TV shows, also studying for the bar exam, which I know unfortunately she did not pass this last go around. But there is this need for her next year to really, you know, refocus, take a break, rest her mind, because she has a lot going on with her. Um, and Spirit is almost like she needs to really just take a step back and maybe even look at the bigger picture here. Um, I would even think maybe an all-inclusive resort of some sort, something where she can have a spa day, or just really just turn her phone off and enjoy some peace and quiet, which I know isn't easy being a celebrity, but this is what I'm getting so far, which right now, making decisions, focusing on self, she's protected. I would even think, I would even say maybe even in her ritual, she focuses a lot on protection and a lot of, ritualistic work. May or may not be working with angels. I don't really know that for sure to confirm that, but um, there's just a lot going on with her. I'm feeling a little bit of anxiety, a lot of rushing, feeling the need to push myself as I'm looking at these cards. But there's a spirit saying she needs to take a step back and refocus and take a break. Being in all of this energy here can be hard on your body and your mind. So, with that said, I'm going to pull this away, and then I'm now going to pull into the tarot cards. So again, I do want to just see where she is currently, and then I do want to tap into the energy for next year so we can see what's really going on. So Spirit, what is her energy now currently? What is the energy of Spirit of, what is the energy of Kim Kardashian currently? Okay, so we have 3 of Wands. I have a couple of cards jumping out, and that's interesting because I did say she's very conflicted, just feeling all of this anxiety around her. Oh, Judgment here. Okay, and then we're going to pull one more for her current energy. Eight of Cups, walking away from something. There's something here that she needs to let go of. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but there's something she needs to walk away from because she's waiting on an opportunity, or she's waiting on something to come in for her, some type of opportunity. There's something she's waiting on, which I want to tap into further, but whatever it is she's waiting on, I'm looking toward, that she's worked for, that she started. The message to me is telling me that she should walk away from it. She should definitely walk away from it. And I know that when I pulled her current energy from the What's the Vibe deck, we did have that Archangel Michael card, and then you have another angel here. And Temperance also just jumped out as well, which is balance through a new beginning. So Spirit is essentially telling her that whatever she's working through now or focusing her energy on, she definitely needs to walk away from it. Here, what is it that she needs to clarify? We have the Emperor reversed. We have the Emperor reversed that came out when I asked, what is it that she needs to walk away from? The Emperor, we know, is associated with the sign of Aries, and this can also be someone who is very, strong, passionate, has high authority. It can even be viewed as egotistical, which we had come up for the What's the Vibe card when it had narcissist come up, and this is reversed. So it sounds like Spirit is calling her to, I wouldn't say stop being a certain way or to dim your light or anything like that, but there's this need for her to temper herself. Maybe she's putting a lot of energy into her business efforts, maybe, you know, being, I guess, what you would call bossy to other people, or in her work life or her family life. But there is a need for her to refocus herself. And I think that's why they're calling for her to take a vacation to get her mind off of the hustle and bustle of what she's working on, her projects, her businesses. And there's a need for her to temper her ego, I would say. I mean, this could be a person in her life that she needs to walk away from, but what I'm getting from it is more so herself, maybe even trying to take everything on it all at once, thinking that, you know, essentially you're bigger than the program, that you don't need to stop. You need to keep up going. You're trying to achieve something so hard and you're working yourself to the bone for it. But at the end of the day, you're still human. And if you keep pushing yourself past your limit, that's where problems can come up, like health problems. You're stressed out. You're wondering why you're having all these ailments and you're having these headaches, these migraines, or whatever it is. I'm just giving an example, but there's a need for her to walk away from this. I don't think that it's going to go well if she keeps pushing herself the way that she is. I'm just going to pull some more cards on her current energy. Okay. And then the Tower came right on out as soon as I shuffled. So there might be even a Tower moment coming for her pretty soon if she doesn't walk away from whatever this is. Kim Kardashian's current energy. This is Tower moment. So we have King of Swords coming up, and then we also have Queen of Pentacles. King of Swords can be someone that is very cutthroat, very honest, very to the point, somebody that is very, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, someone that is very straight to the point. This could even be the justice system as well. And then we have Queen of Pentacles. So this could be the mother archetype, could be an earth sign. It makes me wonder if these are specifically two people here. So I'm going to pull these to the side. Weird. King of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. Who are these? Then you have Queen of Swords. Is this something related to her family? Because I know she's a Libra. I don't know the signs of her sisters or her mother. I think Christian or maybe a water sign, if I'm not mistaken. But because we're having multiple court cards here, I'm led to believe this has something to do with people in her life. Maybe she is very controlling. Maybe, you know, she has people in her life trying to help her, but it's my way or the highway type of energy. And whatever it is that she's emitting right now around these people is going to cause a Tower moment. So the Tower moment can be her relationships can be impacted by this in a negative way. Or maybe she may be moving on or cutting ties, or maybe even moving forward and not take, you know, I wouldn't say maybe even cutting ties, but it could be disagreements. It could be that these people are trying to help her, but she's doing too much. I suspect that there are people in her life that don't like this version of Kim or whatever she's going through right now for whatever reason. And I think it might have to do something along the lines of her being very egotistical. It might be rubbing people the wrong way and impacting her relationships. I know that there was a disagreement or a conversation with her and Courtney and Chloe on the show about the bar exam. And I know that those conversations went very vastly different. I don't remember the context of them, but I do know that her and Courtney don't be seeing eye to eye on quite a bit of things. So let's see what else for her current energy. Knight of Cups. Okay. What was offered? Perhaps someone tried to offer her something. Let's see. We have this Libra here. Something to do with her family. being isolated, separating herself. Maybe her family has tried to offer her guidance. And you know how when you have family members where you're going through something or there's something you're working for and they're trying to give you solicited advice and you're not trying to hear it at all. You're not trying to hear what they have to tell you. But, you know, in times like that, sometimes, and I feel like from the tower, from the emperor reverse, maybe they have tried to give her some comment or some notes or some advice on what she should do and how she should do it. And I don't think she's trying to hear that, but I do feel like it's coming out of love. They're trying to help her, but she's not trying to hear it. You know, the Libra, they're gonna do what they want to do at the end of the day. And so I get that energy from her that, you know, I'm the boss, I make the decisions, I know what I'm doing. Okay. I don't watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but I wonder how this is impacting them behind the scenes. Okay, yeah, so I think it does have something to do with her family, maybe some emotional backlash. And when I say backlash, meaning that, like I said, unsolicited advice. She is not trying to hear it. She knows what she's doing. Type of energy is what I'm getting from her, which understandably so. She's Kim Kardashian. If she didn't know what she was doing, she wouldn't have gotten to where she is. But sometimes people do try to help you because they are on the outside looking in. And when you are inside of whatever you're going through or, you know, working toward where sometimes it's hard to zoom out of what's going on because you're so in the situation that you can't see anything else. So perhaps there's something here where, like I said, she's not trying to hear it. And, you know, emotionally, she could just be isolating herself from her family or from her loved ones. Okay, then we're going to put one more card on her for her current energy, and then I'm going to tap into 2026 for her. But I do think there's something going on behind the scenes as far as her family goes. Behind the scenes of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, at least, that we're not seeing, the public at least. Okay. Queen of Cups. So I wonder if this is her mother, because I feel like she's a water sign, but I could very well be wrong. But there's something here with the family where there are disagreements. They're not seeing eye to eye. I would even say there's something even with her business ventures or money here, that maybe they're trying to help each other. They're trying to figure out what the money is going to look like, or maybe their money is being impacted somewhere here. But Kim ain't trying to hear it. She is not trying to hear it. There are multiple court cards, so there are multiple people in this, which led me to believe that it has something to do with her family. But I wonder if it's something to do with business ventures, money. They have a show together. The first card that came out for her current energy was Three of Wands, which is like waiting on your ships to come in, waiting to see what's going to happen now that you started working toward your goal or your venture. And so I feel like she's trying to separate herself from something dealing with her family. And I wonder if it's the TV show, or maybe they try to go into business together and she's just not feeling it, or they try to offer her some type of collaboration effort working within the family, and she doesn't want to do it anymore. She's not trying to hear it. Spirit, anything else you could say about the situation? I did say I was going to switch to 2026, but I want to see what else comes out. Current energy for Kim Kardashian. So we have the star, which represents Aquarius, and then we have the Nine of Cups as well, which is interesting because here I get that she's hopeful for success. She's working towards success, like I said. But But as you know, 10 of Cups itself is the family card, feeling fulfilled emotionally. That is family, essentially. But this is 9 of Cups, which is your wish is fulfilled, but it's not the full 10. So that's what leads me to believe that this is something with the family. She's hopeful for herself. I mean, oh, actually, I'm going to have to blur that out somehow. Okay, I'm going to have to blur this out somehow. But it makes me think that this is a solo venture, whatever it is. She is not trying to collaborate. She is not trying to hear it. You see this this 9 of Cups sitting alone. Like, yes, I got it. I did what I was supposed to do. I got the money. I feel so good about what I've done. But it's not a 10 of Cups though either. So it's missing 1 cup. So for me, I believe it's something to do with her family. I would even venture off to say there's a goal or maybe a business venture she's working toward that she wants to do alone. She doesn't want to do this anymore. But like I said, this is all alleged, but this is the energy that I'm getting for her currently. So I'm going to switch and go on to her energy for 2026. For 2026, we did see from the Oracle deck that Spirit saying she needs to take a break. She needs to really refocus her mind and get away from everything that's going on in her life to refocus and reset. So let's see what comes up for 2026. Spirit, for Kim Kardashian for 2026. I already had 1 card jump out, but I'm going to hold it until I get the full spread. So we have Death already. Oh, the Devil. Okay. Okay. 2026 predictions for Miss Kim Kardashian. So we have Death to the Devil to the Queen of Pentacles. There's something here about money. It could be Kris Jenner as well, just because that is her mother, and Kim is a mom as well, so it could be that too. But there's something here about money that she needs to focus on, or perhaps change how she does it, because she's so worried about her money right now. I know she has a TV show that just got renewed, but she does have her own Skims line, as well as maybe some other ventures that we may not be aware of, or I may have not listed. I'm not really certain, but there's something here about she needs to rethink the way that she's doing her business or handling or making her money for next year. Spirit, please clarify. Check in for 2026. Okay, we have 5 of Wands. Just conflict and chaos. Then we have 5 of Cups reverse, and then we have Queen of Swords, another court card. There's a lot of people in this situation that are involved, and it's causing fighting. And that's why I said it's something to do with money or how money is made. Maybe, like I said, something with the family, because there's multiple people here. And then you have 5 of Cups reverse. With upright, it is, humiliation, shame, regret. But it's reverse, so we know that she had the narcissist card come up for her and egotistical. So I don't think that she too much cares about what's going on in the background. That's what it feels like to me, as well as this Queen of Swords, which we know she is a Libra. Queen of Swords is someone who tells the truth and nothing but the truth, and very clear-headed, straight to the point. So for me, I would say there is probably a lot of conflict in the background with her family unit. But Kim don't care. She does not care. She is literally focused on making her money and her business and her goals right now. But Spirit is calling her to really rethink that. And no, she doesn't have to focus in on the drama and things that are going on behind the scenes. But at the same time, you still have inner work to do as well. And by inner work, meaning you may not be looking at it as inner work. You may just be avoiding the conflict and things like that to focus in on yourself and yourself only. But there's some other work that she needs to be doing in her personal life and internally and mentally is what I'm getting. You have Ace of Wands. Leaving something behind. So we have Ace of Wands, Six of Swords. There's something she needs to let go of because we have Death, the Devil, the money, and I think it just keeps coming back to the money and her business ventures. And from the current energy for her that I had the cards for, when I can't remember what card it was that came out, but there, Judgment, Temperance, New Beginning. I feel like for 2026, she really should leave behind her old ways. And that's why I think the vacay, and the harmony card came out for her, because she needs to really reset her mind and herself. And I would even say refocus on her passions, because she has a lot going on between being a lawyer, between her TV shows, plural, between her family stuff that she has going on. She really needs to let all of that go and leave that behind her and really refocus her mind and what she probably wants to do with her, her life and her businesses, because whatever she's doing is going to work for her, because she's going to have a tower moment. Okay. And then we have the Queen of Cups, which is this, like I said, I feel like her mom is a water sign, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But okay. And then we have Five of Swords, which is communication issues, fighting, last one standing. So, there's a lot of conflict in the background with her family is what I'm getting. And Kim next year really needs to take a step back and reset and refocus herself, and maybe even pursue other things. I'm not saying she can't be a lawyer. I'm not saying she can't do what she's currently doing business wise, but there is, whatever she's doing is not going to go the way that she wants it to go. Okay. Until she gets her family stuff resolved, as well as taking a break. And I think once she takes a break and leaves everything behind, as far as that break goes, obviously not leave her kids or anything like that, but I'm sure she's busy as a mother, as a businesswoman. She has a lot of priorities, as well as having to go to Hollywood events and certain things. But there is really a need for her to step back and get her mind right, And sometimes we all need a break to really refocus on what matters and what we need to, and refocus on what we want to do with our lives and what we're passionate about. And so I think for her, once she does take a break, if she ever does, which I don't know if she'll ever listen to this, but my advice would be that take a long vacation, take a break off of social media, out of the public eye, and really out of a place of curiosity, consider your option, think about what you're passionate about, and what you love doing, because I'm not getting that. I just get a lot of conflicting, chaotic type of energy, stress, anxiety. Then you have your family in your ear, and then you have your business partners in another ear, and then you're trying to balance so many different things at one time. She just has literally a lot going on, and she needs to take a break, or she's going to have a tower moment. And what that tower moment is going to look like, we don't know, but it's not going to be good, because tower moments could also happen, like I said, impacting your health, your mother. It's, could be impacting your children with how many things you're balancing. So that would be my unsolicited advice for Kim for 2026. But from what I'm getting, she has a lot going on, and at the beginning of the reading, I just felt all this anxiety and all these things that need to get done in one day. And so that's not healthy for you. And it's not healthy for your mind either. So I think I'm going to close this out for Kim. This wasn't a very long reading for her, but she's gonna definitely have to take a break. She's gonna need to take a break. And I know that they have bills to pay and other commitments in the works, but it's not going to be good for her if she keeps on the way that this is happening, and then it could impact her family life as well. So that's all I have for Kim Kardashian's reading today. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. If you have more insight into Miss Kim Kardashian, I would love to hear from you. If there's anything that you thought of while listening to this reading, I would definitely love to hear your feedback on that as well. But that is all I have for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye.